Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. I'll put you down now, Coco. Sorry about that. Just scared the hell out of her, but she kicked it. She kicked the ruler. It wasn't me. She's the one who made it fall down, I swear. I promise you. Hello, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. So what I want to talk about today is what? I got you. Okay, so today what I want to talk about is a conversation that I had with someone this past weekend, someone who isn't an artist. I went to a friend's birthday party, and we went out and we just to a sort of winery place. It was very cool out near Santa Barbara, a lot of fun, and just having conversation with him. And I realized, you know, a lot of the times I find that my people are artists. I feel like I bond more with artists. I can relate more with artists. I feel like I have, you know, just something to share, something to, I feel like there's just that bond. I don't know how you explain that. I don't know. It's almost like our tribe, right? We know who's within our tribe, and there's some sort of commonality that happens. And I just that day, I was just feeling just a lot more talkative. Maybe because it was the wine, but when it's with people that I don't aren't sort of like in the same business or do, you know, within that realm, I kind of. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's one of those things where it just gets sometimes hard to relate, and maybe because I want to get deeper in conversation sometimes, and I don't get it reciprocated, and I don't feel that them really going back and trying to discover things too. I don't know. I like to get deep in conversation. So it's this weird thing. And just talking to him, what was interesting was first there was a guy with this other guy that I was there with, and I'm talking to him, just, you know, starting to introduce myself, you know, hey, so, you know, what keeps you, you know, occupied? And so, well, you don't want to know. I'm all, oh, no, it's cool. You know, I'm interested in say, every time I tell people what I do, they just turn around and walk away. I'm all, really? No kidding. Well, that sounds fascinating. What is it that you do? He says, I'm a truck driver. And people just turn away and walk away at that point. They don't want to know anything more. And he like said it 2 or 3 times. And the funny thing was, the guy that I was standing next to did actually walk away. I was just like, oh my God, he just said people walk away when he says there's a truck driver. And this guy actually walked away. And it was the funniest thing. So, but then I just started to say truck driver. Well, that's pretty open. I mean, what do you drive trucks for? And he said, Oh, well, I do trucks. I pick up cars and that are going to auction, and I do all this. So then we got into this whole conversation about what he does for his living just as a truck driver, and it was fascinating. So it's sometimes good just to listen to other people's stories. You're always going to learn something new. And then I was talking to this other guy who was there, and he was started just to just talk about how, you know, we were talking about life, and he was just talking about how for the next 15 years, you know, he's just, I mean, he was so unhappy, you know, you could tell just in conversation, just with his life and the way things were going, and so unhappy with where he was, what he had to do. And just, he looked at it like, I got young kids, and for the next 15 years of my life, I got to live this life just to be able to, you know, pay for them doing a job that I hate. And he works in an industry, in the aerospace industry, which he just hated, and every day was a burden. And then I started talking to him. Well, what is it that you wanted to do? You know, it's just like, because I feel, and like I've told you guys, it's very important to decide and have a desire and know what it is that you even want. And he said, no, there was nothing that I wanted to do. He said, I just goofed around, you know, I messed around my whole life. I was too busy, you know, boozing and just doing this and doing that. And I never took anything seriously. And now I'm this, you know, I think he was around 55 years old, you know, and he just had this mentality like it was all over. Like nothing else could change, nothing else can happen. I said, well, what do you even want? What is it that you even, you know, want? He said, you know, he sat there and think, he saw, man, those DWP guys, District of Water and Power, man, those guys got it good. Here, you know, again, I'm coming from the whole art side. This guy's getting excited about the District of Water and Power, and I thought it was fascinating. It was, again, completely different jobs, completely different mindset. And this was his just like, oh man, District of Water and Power, to get a job doing that. I'm like, what's stopping you? It's impossible. It's impossible. You can't get a job like that. Same thing that a lot of artists think. It's impossible. You can't get a job at Pixar. You can't get a job at Disney. You can't get a job at Nickelodeon. You can't have your own company. You can't be a freelance artist. You can't publish your own book. You can't. It's all these can'ts that you can't do anything. And the thing is that with, you know, this guy, it's impossible. You can't get in there. Well, why not? Well, it's just, you know, what? Well, what? He had nothing. And then he starts telling me, you know, I got a couple of friends in there, and, you know it was hard for them to, get in there. Oh, you got a couple of friends in there, do you? That's a good thing. What's so good about that? These are people you can talk to. These are like having connections and having friends. This is one step up. This is something that maybe you could do. Maybe you could sit down. Maybe why don't you take these guys out, your friends? I don't know how close you are in relationship, but why don't you invite them out for a drink or something? Why don't you go have a, you know, go have a beer, go drink some wine with them and say, hey guys, you know, I'm thinking I really want to change my career and I want to do something different. I'm curious how you get into, you know, the District of Water and Power, and start thinking about that on how you can maybe change things. And I was telling him, I said, the problem is that most people, like most of the people you even work with, all you do is complain about your current situation, and you complain about how it's not the ideal situation and how miserable it is. But what are you prepared to do to even take the next step? You know, just because it didn't work for someone else, because other people have told you it's difficult, and that's usually the circumstance or the scenario, is that other people have blocked you. Other people have convinced you that they tried and it didn't work out for them, so why would it work for you? And this guy was like, he's trying to teach his kids how to be, you know, just do better in life, and don't follow in his footsteps. And I say, well, what better role model or what better situation would it be if your kids saw their dad just making that change and following his passion? Not just talking about it, but following his passion and following through with what he's even set out to do. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. What is easy? Nothing's easy. Don't ever think anything's easy. It isn't. And it's the same thing with this. If this is something you want to do, why don't you research it more? Why don't you look into it? Why don't you make this your number one priority? Why don't you put so much focus and so much energy into wanting to work for the Department of Water and Power that maybe something might come of it? And maybe you just might end up meeting someone else. Why do you want to live the next 15 years of your life? And by that point, you're going to be, you know, what is that, 55, 60, 70 years old. That's it. That's the end of your career, because you're going to want to retire by then, and you want to live the next 15 years of your life in misery. Is that what you want to do? You want to stay in the same situation that you're in just because of again, that fear of that it might not happen, that you might not get that job. I can tell you, I would be crawling, scratching, doing everything under my willpower if I was ever in a position or job that I didn't like or wasn't comfortable with, to get the hell out and not stay in there. It just makes no sense why you would want to do that. What's that going to cause for you? You're going to freaking stress out. You're going to be worn out. How can you even focus on anything that you want to do? And I just thought it was just a great conversation, that I had with him. And again, open my, I am fascinated. I started this off by saying I'm not, don't talk to too many people. I really do. And I'm fascinated with just people's lives. I'm not as open all the time, but once my door's open to someone, I think, the door's open and come on in and let's talk. And sometimes you find interesting people, other people aren't so interesting, but you gotta talk to people in order just to find out if they're interesting or not, right? And part of that conversation is just speaking up. And I think by speaking up and talking to people a lot more, you're going to start to discover things about other people and their lives and their situations that maybe might make you think, and maybe might make you realize that whatever situation you're in right now, it doesn't have to be that way. And maybe there is another, there is another way. There is another approach to doing that. So I think it's just very important just to not get so closed-minded and stay stuck in a place where you are, and be the role model and do something and make that change, and don't torture yourself. I can't imagine anything worse in life than this is it, guys. This is the one. I mean, I believe in reincarnation personally, but I think this is it. Whoever you are, your identity, your physical human being, your body, this is it. This is the life you got. And we got our 8 chapters, pretty much, most of us, Hopefully we got our 8 chapters. And this is the one thing that you just got to remember and keep thinking about, that do you want to spend the next however many chapters you have left in your life in just in a horrible nightmare of a story? Is that what you want? Or do you want to just do something different and rewrite that chapter, that upcoming chapter, and do something that will set you apart? And again, not listening to the cynics and the people who are telling you it's impossible. There's so many of those people, one after another. It could even be your own family member telling you that it's impossible. The reality is, how do you know it's impossible? Just because someone else said it? So what? So what? Someone else said it. And I really believe in having that mindset and attitude, just to keep, go for what you want. Try to create it. It's not, again, nothing happens overnight, but at least it's something to look forward to. At least it's something to strive for. It's at least something to just have under your belt. Just say, I did it, I tried it, and then go from there. So these are the things that just food for thought, just to think about. And that's it. All right. So live life now, make it a great week, and I will talk to you guys next week. Take care. Hello, this is Steven, and I just wanted to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing right now through my website at silvertunes.com. It's a Skype mentorship. In a sense, what I want to do is just talk to you, meet you, tell me about things that are happening in your life, see if there's anything that I could do to help you. I can look over your artwork, do your portfolio, and just maybe try to push you in the right direction that you want to take your life and your journey. All right, so you can go to silvertunes.com, go to classes, click on mentorship, and you can learn all about it. We can try to arrange a time, set up a date. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. And I just wanted to make it just very affordable, just to open it up, because I love doing this. I love meeting people from all over the planet. It's a really cool thing, and with this technology, why not? So that's it. Thanks. Whoa! Hey! Go back. Go back.
Go back.
Great. Go back. Go back.